In the description down below, you can find a link to Micro Center with a $100 off coupon on this amazing computer, as well as a free drone coupon, no purchase necessary. That's right, folks. Print out that coupon, go into your local Micro Center, and get a free drone without even buying anything. Hello, everybody. We are here with your Serqet guide. Serqet being, of course, a jungler. She can be played on and off in the support role. As of right now, she is not particularly a great support, but she does come in and out of the meta as a support as well, so you should keep that in mind. But her most standard role is still jungle. So we'll be starting her off with the standard jungle build, that being Assassin's Blessing, our tier 1 mace, a health potion, and our Hand of the God. For our level 1 ability, we will be grabbing Deathbane. This is our first ability. This is a 3-pronged ability where you have 3 dashes. Every corner is basically damaged, so 1 proc to the right, 1 proc to the left, 1 proc to the middle. Boom, boom, boom. It's a little triple proc, so this actually does hit up to 3 times. Deathbane also reduces the target's physical protection for a short amount of time and remains in a lingering dormant state for 20 seconds. So you have reduced their protections by 10% for 3 seconds, and this is all going to also apply our passive. So we should talk about our passive because our abilities are going to proc it. Our passive on Serqet is that when we use abilities on Serqet and we hit a target, it is going to apply poison to them. And those targets are going to take damage based off of how much poison they have on them. So if they've got 2 poisons, they take 10% of the target's maximum health as physical damage. And if they have 3 poisons, they take 20% of their maximum health as physical damage. This is where Serqet actually gets a lot of her damage from. And so you apply it with your abilities. So let's go right here. Blink 2, you can see this little effect on him. I hit him with my 1, and then an auto attack is going to proc it. So with your auto attack, when you hit them, they're going to have those little marks on them. Those little marks will indicate how many poison you have on them. And then you proc it for that nice bonus damage. Now, this does mean that on Serqet, we do not want a build based around autos. One of the most commonly wrong built items on Serqet is Hydras, because Hydras want you to auto attack after every ability. Serqet specifically, very specifically, is a god that you do not want to auto attack between every ability on. Very unique. I know all the times in our guide we're talking about auto attack canceling. Make sure you ability auto, ability auto. Serqet is not like that. You specifically do not want to do that, because then you will not be getting the maximum use out of your passive, which is so much additional damage. At level 2, we got Hour 2. This is the ability that let us get our kill. Cobra's Kiss. This ability launches forward 2 times, so that damage procs 2 times, and you can hit it on different targets. This is going to be a taunt towards Serqet. If there is another enemy within range, instead of being a taunt towards Serqet, like the Cuckoo just was, it is instead going to basically do the Discordia effect, where it will make the 2 friendlies attack each other. So if you hit 2 friendlies near each other, they're gonna start walking at each other and attacking each other. If you only hit 1 person and they're near a friendly, they will try to attack their friendly type dealio, but if there's nobody around them, they're gonna walk right towards you. Hour 3 is our main movement ability, although you can see that Serqet's 1 is also a movement ability. This is going to be our jump. We vanish in place, so you're actually in stealth when you use this ability. You're in stealth right here, and then you can choose to jump. You can cancel out of the ability with right click if you just simply don't want to jump. For the most part, that's not going to be the case, but you can do it. And then you left click again to jump, and you will do damage at the target location. If an enemy comes up really close to you while you are in your 3, you will be revealed to that enemy. So like the Achilles can't see me. If I'm like stealthing right here and he's in lane, he can't see me. If I want to right click, I can just right click and walk out of this. But for the most part, you're going to use it for the jump. Finally, we have our ultimate. really the main reason why you pick Serqet. I'm gonna ulti him right now. Our ulti is gonna put us right on top of a target, and it is going to put a true damage bleed on them. A true damage bleed. That basically means that this damage is guaranteed to go through. We're gonna talk a little bit about true damage and why that's not entirely true here in a second. So it's gonna do that damage. It is going to be over time, over 5 seconds. When you hop on top of them, it's technically a stun for 1 second. You're basically just jumping right on top of their noggins. And then you will toss them back to a location. So you can see I hopped onto the Achilles. I turned around, so I threw him back down towards the lane, towards us. He's got the bleed on him. And then he cannot heal. 100% healing reduction. Yes, this means lifesteal. Yes, this means traditional healing like a raw heal, whatever. Fantastic single target damage ability. Fantastic anti-healing ability as well. So you can see right here, Last Breath Poison deals true damage. We're going to talk about the last part of this ability after I explain true damage. True damage in Smite does not mean nothing can reduce the damage. It means that protections don't reduce the damage, but percent mitigations still work. So something like a Spirit Robe proc can actually reduce true damage. Another example of true damage is Bakasura's 3 has a true damage portion on it. Percent mitigations do actually reduce true damage. So Bacchus has it like on his passive meter for being drunk, stuff like that. Spirit Robe, Oni Hunter's Garb. So it can actually be reduced slightly, but somebody's protections will not reduce the amount of damage that they take from true damage. So they can have capped protections all they want and it'll still do the regular damage. Finally, on Serqet's ultimate, the last and one of the most important parts is that if the target dies while the poison is on them, if they die, they will explode and anybody near them will catch the poison. Anybody near them will catch the poison. So you want to typically do one of two things. You want to either throw a target away from their team and into your team so you can get yourself a nice pickoff. Or you want to throw them right in the middle of the team if they're going to die so you can explode them all around their team and get a bunch more poison effects off. So I'm going to try to get a little boom boom double taunt here. Not going to quite land on the Cuckoo. I am going to ulti on top of the Cuckoo and then I'm going to throw him away towards the Cabrakan. The Cabrakan I don't think was actually in range when he exploded, unfortunately. So we're not quite going to get that kill right there. Nice raw ulti. So for our build, we grabbed ourselves a Jotun's Wrath. Early CDR is extremely important on Serqet. She has decently long cooldowns. You can see already with 20% CDR, all of my abilities are still over 10 seconds. So she does have some pretty long cooldowns, but her abilities hit really, really hard, especially if you get that passive on people as well. So we're going to rank up our 1 all the way to max and our ultimate. Our level order on Serqet is 4, 1, 2, 3. We rank up our 1, it's our main damaging ability. Our ultimate for the damage. Our 2, because this increases the madness duration of damage. And then finally, our 3. Our 3 we're not even going to use for damage super often. It's oftentimes just going to be an initiation / getaway skill. One more thing we should mention about the ultimate. Not a super common use of this, but you should be aware you can actually ulti minions with the Serqet ult. So in theory, you can ulti a minion and try to proc it onto a bunch of people. I'm going to be honest with you, a lot more likely than you ulting a minion and tossing it into a bunch of people for an epic play. A lot more likely is that you just accidentally ulti a minion and screw up your ult. We've all been there. It happens. So just be careful if an enemy is inside a bunch of minions that you don't accidentally just ulti on top of a minion. One thing with Serqet you can see that I just did right there. I ultied on top of that Cernanos and then I walked away and went immediately back to farming. I know that he can't heal. I know that my true damage is going to kill him and I know that his active was beads and not Aegis. because I heard him use it, which means I know he has absolutely no way to live through there. There's no point for me to stick around any longer. Maybe I get cut out in a rotation. Maybe I dive the tower, take some damage I didn't need to take. I literally just go right back to farming while he just waits to die. Serqet being one of the premier gankers in all of Smite, I want you to focus a little bit more on ganking than you would perhaps on other junglers. She truly has one of the biggest burst combos that is not super hard to land. As far as junglers go, your standard combo is very straightforward. You literally just 2. I'm gonna wait, actually. I'm gonna have 3 in on this one. Ah! Okay, most standard combo, he says. Immediately gets Cuckoo ulti. That's fine, that's classic. Here we go. Give me another opportunity. I'm gonna 2. I'm gonna 1. I'm gonna auto attack. It's that easy. I'm gonna ulti. I'm actually gonna throw that Thor into the Cuckoo. You can actually see that the Cuckoo got hit by that poison, and now the poison is ticking on Cuckoo, as well as the damage that it did onto the Thor. I'm in like a really bad spot right now. I'm gonna throw down a ward right there. I'm gonna try to back out all the way over here, see if nobody maybe catches me on my way out of this. So that standard combo, once again, I'm gonna start working on a Transcendence right now for this big burst damage. It's just a 2 and then a 1. You can use your 3 to hop on in. That is totally fine. But you can, what you're really trying to do is you want a 2 because your 2 is going to apply your poison. Your 1 also applies your poison, and your ulti applies your poison. So I 2 him, I get a poison proc. I 1 him, I get a poison proc. So you see those 2 things on him? If I auto attack him now, he's going to get that. If I can reach him with an auto attack, come here for the guide. You can see it draining off as the time is running out. Okay, that's fine. Don't need to do it for the guide anyway. Yeah, you got to see the poison spots. And then if I would have ultied him, he would have had that 3rd poison dot on him. 2 means 10% of their health. 3 means 20%. Once again, this is why we don't build items like Hydras, because you want to auto attack in between every ability, then you never get your passive off. Can't keep proccing the poisons over and over again. So now we go back to farming. Ulti has come back up, so I'm liable to go gank somebody. If you can, with your Serqet too, your goal is to hit more than one person with it. Obviously, if you're just ganking one person, use it both on them, get a little extra damage. No harm, no foul. But if there is 2 people standing by each other, your goal is to quickly hit one, do a little whip. 1, 2. Little 1, 2. You want to hit both of them with it, because that way you get the CC on both of them, and they start attacking each other. They'll even do a little bit of damage to each other on top of it. Ow. Ow. This hurts a lot. In that case, I'm just going to use my 2 for a little ranged kill on that Cobra to make sure I don't have to walk back up into his face. We're going to grab ourselves a Transcendence. Reminder that when Transcendence gets stacked, it does give us 10% CDR. So we're going to have 30% CDR. Serqet is completely ability based. Our autos are only used to proc that poison, so we're actually very rarely auto attacking in these fights. We're mostly just using our 1-2 combo with our ulti as a potential finisher. For the 1, if you want to get maximum damage on it, you need to hit all 3 of the potential bursts, which means you can't use it as a line. If you use your 1 as a line like this, you're only going to get that 1 proc on it that you potentially hit. If you want to get all of them, you have to do a little very close range. You have to bring it close to your body, and you'll do that little 3-point attack. This, not going to get max damage. This, you're going to, as long as you're, on top of them, you're going to get all 3 of those hits, and that's where you're really getting your big damage numbers from a Serqet. 2, miss. Look embarrassed. Hit him with a 1. Ulti. I didn't land the 2, but I did land the ulti. So now he's got that poison on him. I gotta be real careful. Holy cow, that's a big Cobra. Also, Thor ulti down. Sobek, I appreciate the attempt. We did try. Okay, so now they're getting pretty tanky. That Cobra is obviously doing a lot of damage. They're going a little bit tanky on the Achilles. They've got potential frontline with the Thor jungle, so we might need some more penetration. That's fine by me. If you look at all of your options here for your penetration, because you don't want attack speed, right? You don't want no attack speed on Serqet, so things like Atalanta's bow, Serrated Edge, these are kind of off the table. What you're really looking for is an item like a Heart Seeker. A Heart Seeker is going to let you get some percent pen online, but more importantly, that Heart Seeker passive going to give you the extra bonus damage on all of your abilities. Gonna just buff up that damage even more. You're really stacking up the ability damage and the cooldown. For Serqet in her matchups, Serqet's historically bad matchup is a Wheelix, just because you can't use your third ability at all. Also, you are pretty prone to getting interrupted out of your one with like a Feather Step. So that's considered a historically bad matchup for Serqet against the Wheelix. In general, though, what you're a little bit afraid of on Serqet is people with a lot of CC immunity is quite annoying for Serqet. CC immunity really prevents her from getting off her combos. That's too bad. And you want to go against people with healing. So they're running a comp with no healing, like this comp right here. This comp has absolutely no sustain. This isn't the dream composition for Serqet. You're really looking to pick her into the gods like Ra, into Hell, all those gods, Guan Yu. Doesn't really matter if they're physical or magical damage. You're looking to build her into sustain comps, where an Odin is looking to go against healers that specifically do not have leaps. Serqet doesn't care what their getaway abilities are. Because she's got such a good chase, she can take anybody out over a wall, dashes, leaps, doesn't matter. Heck, even like Heim teleports and stuff. If anybody can figure out how to make those ganks work, it is going to be the Serqets. Gonna hop right over that 3. Unfortunately, the entire team is here. Holy cow. So she doesn't mind at all what getaway skills the enemy has. You're really looking to counterpick her. She's not considered widely strong anymore. She used to be for a very long time. She doesn't pop up a ton in like ranked anymore. But if you are gonna pick her, that 3rd, 4th, 5th kind of pick slot where they've already picked some of their gods. So that way you can kind of use her as a counter pick against those healers. One thing about Serqet 1 as well is that Serqet 1 can critically hit. In the past, Serqet 1 has been used as a big fat crit ability. So you're immune to knockups in this ability and also can crit. You can see that I'm actually not building crit on Serqet right now. I don't particularly like the way that crit feels on her in this moment. I like a little bit more of the ability-based CDR builds. I just don't feel like the crit builds are super strong in terms of her build order. It's gonna help you really kill squishies, which is like fine. But the game is pretty dang tanky right now. There's a lot of hybrid builds coming out with protections and HP, items like Sledge. So if you were going against an extraordinarily squishy comp, you could absolutely pick up crit. If you're going to pick up crit on Serqet, what I would recommend is that you grab yourself a Rage at the start. Then you get yourself a Malice and a Deathbringer. Those would be the three crit items that I recommend on Serqet. You can avoid the Rage altogether. If you want to just go into the Malice Deathbringer, that's fine. You can just go for 2. If you're going to go for 3... Oh my goodness. Okay. Hi, Thor. Oh, we didn't have our Apollo with us. Oh, Apollo's shoving left lane. Hi, buddy. I'm going to die to this creep. No, I'm not. I'm going to die to this Achilles. So I would recommend, if you're going to do 3, go for the Rage, Malice, Deathbringer. If you're only going to do 2, just go for the Malice and the Deathbringer. So now we got the Heartseeker online. That's going to give us a little bit of that percent pen for their team comp, which is getting definitely a little bit tankier. You've got the Cobra getting tankier. You got the Achilles. Hey, look it. It's a Sledge. Sledge is a really good item. Thor, not going tanky yet. Now we're going to switch ourselves into an Erendite. We're going to finish up our CDR with a nice 40%. Erendite gonna give us that last 10%, plus a bunch of physical power, of course, to help us out
Your middle tower
with our damage. And finally, we get the Erendite passive, which is pretty nice on everybody, Serqet being no exception. Little extra movement speed when you're chasing people down, little extra damage, and your ulti is pretty easy to proc on people and get that effect going.
Out of my way.
Serqet's abilities do not particularly go through walls. So your 1 is a dash, which means that you're not going to be able to use it through a wall. Your 2 gets body blocked by walls as well, so you can't pull a sneaky Fafnir hammer or anything. Your 3 is a leap, which means your 3 does in fact go over walls, so I can use it right here to jump on the cuckoo and grab that kill there. And our ultimate, of course, you have to target onto somebody, which means it's not going to go over a wall either. I'm just gonna ulti this Cobra because I think he's gonna live here. That's actually a fantastic proc that we just got. You can see my bleed ticking on so many different people right now. I threw my ulti right there onto Cobra. We immediately killed him with the Ra. And because we immediately killed him with the Ra, it actually procced onto the Thor and the Achilles right there. So we just got a triple Serqet off of that play.
under attack.
For our second active on Serqet, I never talked about it. We grabbed the beads. If you're in the jungle, you're almost 100% of the time just gonna have beads and blink. Typically, you're gonna get that blink first, unless they have an extraordinarily high CC comp. Maybe they've got an Ares that's gonna yoink you and you don't have a CC immune ulti, well then you have to get the beads. Maybe they've got a Nox plus a bunch of other CC, well maybe you have to get the beads. But in general, in the jungle, you're always looking to get your blink first and then your beads second.
Attack the Gold Fury.
Need a couple hundred more gold for Erendite, so I'm going to start walking myself over towards this gold theory, waiting for it to spawn. I'm going to go see if the purple buff is up. 44 stacked on the Transcendence. Hey, look who I found. Just going to hit him with a little 2-1 combo, and that's going to kill him. So you can see right there how much damage I'm doing to the squishy. So if I have a crit, he probably dies even faster there, but the crit is not going to help me against those tankier characters. Also, Thorns is starting to come back into the meta pretty hard. It's not uncommon to see 1 or 2 people with thorns in the higher levels of ranked as well. So crit in general is just a little bit of the risky business right now to be building. All right, now that we grabbed all of our stuff, now that I can afford me an Erendite, gonna back it up, go grab my Erendite, have that max CDR, now that Transcendence and stack. So we basically went from 20% CDR to 40%. Now we've got our abilities, 7.8 seconds on our Deathbane, and it just does so much flipping damage. You combine that with a little double Cobra's Kiss on a squishy, Cobra's Kiss, Deathbane, the auto attack, they're gonna be dead no matter what. I'm gonna look right towards this cuckoo. I'm gonna blink, and then I'm gonna use my 3 right here to get maximum movement. I don't even have to use my 1 right there. I use my blink first, because if I use my 3 first and then the creep shoot me, I'm gonna be put in combat. So I use my blink to cover a bunch of ground, then I use my 3 to cover a bunch more ground. I'm gonna do the same thing here with the Thor, basically. Tried to get my ulti on him with my 1 to see if he would bleed out in midair. Didn't quite do it. Fun fact, this has nothing to do with the guide. This is just a little fun fact for you. There was a bug at Season 1 Worlds where, as Serqet, if you ultied Thor while he went into the air, he couldn't do anything for the rest of the game except for ultimate. That's right. This bug was specifically at Season 1 Worlds, where the 2 most popular junglers were Thor and Serqet. If you Serqet ultied Thor and Thor died in the air, if he died in the air to Serqet poison, for the rest of the game, you could only use Thor ulti, no other abilities, and it almost happened at Worlds. Everybody was super nervous behind the scenes. Now we're just gonna dive into this Titan room, and we should be able to put this one away. For our last item here, we have 2 options on the table. I always recommend getting one of these on Serqet, if not both, and that is going to be our Magi's Blessing and a Mantle of Discord. Serqet has no built-in CC immunity in her kit, which means that as you get into the late game team fights, especially against heavier CC comps, you're gonna find that you're getting CC'd a lot. A Magi's Blessing or a Mantle of Discord is going to help you a lot. There is nothing wrong with getting both of those on Serqet either. So if I sell my Assassin's Blessing here and I get a Magi's Blessing and then I sell my boots and I get a Mantle of Discord, that is totally fine and dandy. Keep in mind that your Jotun's Wrath at the end of the game, you're probably going to want to sell as well. It is not a super ultra late game item. We'd have our red pot online giving us an extra 10% CDR, which means we would simply sell our Jotun's Wrath for another item with 10% CDR, so we maintained the 40% cap. Unless we grab the Mantle of Discord, because if we grab the Mantle of Discord, we're going to have 30% with our Discord Transcendence Erudite. So that means we got 40% with Red Pot. So if you picked up the Magi's, you're still going to need 10%. If you picked up the Discord, you don't need the 10%, which means it opens up an entire plethora of items for you, and you can get any of the general normal items. The Blood Forge for the aggression, the Sledge for the hybrid. You could even grab a single crit item at the end of the game if you wanted to. Even the Malice would fulfill that 10% cooldown spot and a crit spot all at the same time. You got a lot of options on Serqet, guys, and that is our Serqet guide.